Welcome to the Notary Educators with Kimmi YouTube channel. Hosts Kimmi and Jeff Nunnally, along with Alexis Franklin, share expert insights to help you launch and grow a successful mobile notary business, no matter what state you are commissioned in. Learn how to become a top-notch loan signing agent and get answers to common notary questions. Explore our all-inclusive $47 monthly training library, plus live weekly online coaching sessions with courses on general notary work, wedding efficient services, remote online notary, ink fingerprinting, apostille, translation services, and I-9 completion. So please remember that Notary Educators LLC is your one-stop shop for notary training. Now sit back and watch Kimmi and crew, and don't forget to subscribe to the Notary Educators with Kimmi YouTube channel for more tips. Take your notary business to new heights.
He said we gotta go in a different direction. Yeah, we'll need you to work every other Saturday. Excuse me? That is not what we agreed upon. They did all this rolling out the red carpet trying to get me there. And then as soon as I get there, then they lied. That's a straight up lie. We ain't going in no different direction. You lied, okay? And I got a feeling they kind of knew what they needed when they hired me, but I wasn't going to take the job working weekends. I was done with weekends at that point. I did go through that phase too, y'all. I did. And I was at the bank. I was like, no more weekends. That's it. No more. So I got this job Monday, Wednesday, Friday till I get there. And like I said, we're going in a different direction. Okay, where are you going? So that direction wasn't working for me. I'll never forget, he called me in his office, him and the assistant manager. Yeah, we got to go in a different direction. Oh, really? So anyway, I was like, unfortunately, I can't do that. And that's not what we agreed upon because your girl didn't play. I don't know where I got off thinking I could just say whatever. And I was always very professional, always professional. But I always stood my ground. I said what I meant what I said when it came to work. If you told me we're going to do this, this is what we're going to do. Okay? And I'm very flexible, but when it came to my scheduling of my hours at work, that's one place I never play around. And I could be kind of real gentle, like real sugar on top kind of person all the time. But that's one area where I'll tell a manager in a minute, no, that's not what we talked about. You told me this, right? So I don't know where that comes from. I think that's coming from being spoiled a little bit just with my parents, quite frankly. That's a whole nother conversation for another day, probably another channel. But yeah, I didn't play at work. I did not. And I had a reputation. You would think I didn't even need my job. But that's one thing I did learn too. I'm going to tell y'all this. And then we're going to move on. I'll tell you what happened with the job too. One thing I did learn, if you let people treat you any kind of way at work though, and you can need your job more than anybody in the room. But if you act like you need your job and you what's that word? Kind of like begging them, kind of bending over, doing whatever they want. Like if they beck and call, they're going to treat you like that. That's one thing I learned. So I could have needed my job more than anybody up in there, but they would never have known it. They would never know it. So you don't have to be disrespectful, but you have to teach people how you want to be treated. Okay. That's the point. You have to teach people how you want to be treated sometimes. And at the end of the day, when they get ready to get rid of you, you gone. I mean, we've seen that. It's nothing new. It's just amplified now because of TikTok. I watched this guy, Orlando, mine or something, and he's real loud. Y'all probably seen him before. He's like, 20,000 people got laid off. I told y'all don't nobody care about you. He's loud like that. I told you these companies don't care about you. And I was of the mindset, because I kind of grew up watching my dad. He was at his company for 45 years. Jeff's dad was at his company for 25, 30 years, whatever. Hey, Notary fam, it's Kimmi. I am here to let you know, just in case you have not heard about the Notary Business Coaching Success Program. We meet weekly. We talk about your notarial duties, how to do an acknowledgement, how to do a jurat, how to administer an oath. Everything you've been asking for. And guess what else is included? Unlimited access to all of my trainings that will also include ink fingerprinting, trust/estate documents. Learn how to properly execute a trust. Don't forget, we also have the private community, like-minded notaries who have been trained by me. Check out my book that I've written for each state, How to Start Your Notary Business in Alabama, California. You get the point. Wherever you're located, there's a book for your state. Well, hopefully I'll see you soon over in training. Notary Educators, LLC. We got you covered. Bye. And I was at my companies for a long time. I didn't just job hop. I didn't. The first one, I was there 10 years and I moved. That's the only reason I left there. I moved. When I got down here to Atlanta, now when I got to Atlanta, I had some growing pains and stuff because I was like, I hated the traffic. I had so many opportunities in Atlanta too. And when I first moved here in 97, you could leave one good job and go to another good job. Good jobs. What's a good job? Benefits, good pay. I could leave. I left, matter of fact, I worked at SunTrust when I first moved here. I worked at SunTrust twice. I first moved here for a year and I got sick of it. And I was like, I'm over this. And I went to work at an insurance company. I worked for Hartford Insurance Company for a year. I said, I'm over the drive. Went to DHL out at the airport. Went back to SunTrust, did my daycare. So, I've had a lot of opportunities. I love business. I've learned a lot at all these different companies. I worked at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta for 8 years. So your girl knows about, working with people. I love customer service. I do. I love people, period. I love teaching. So all of those things are what brought me to my notary business. So I have no regrets in leaving. I really don't. Let me tell y'all what happened with the bank job. So I stood my ground. He's talking about we going in a different direction. I said, I ain't going in that direction. I came home. He said, take the weekend and think about it. So decisions like that, I am married. So I didn't just say, screw that. I'm going to do what I want to do. I got to come home and talk to Jeffrey, right? Because I'm helping pay some bills up in here. So I had to come home and talk to Jeffrey, and he always support anyway. He like, girl, leave that job, whatever, because he was working full time. We needed the money or I wouldn't have been working, right? So I'm not saying we didn't need it. We did need the money, but he was just always like, you go get something else, just whatever. He's not that person like, you better stay at that job. I don't care what happened. Now I'm the one that say that. That's not him. So anyway, I came home. I told him what happened. He said, well, just tell him what you're going to do. Whatever that is, what are you going to do? He asked me first, what are you going to do? I said, I'm not working that. He said, go back and tell him. So I went back and told my manager. I said, yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to work for me. I said, I really came over here because you told me. And again, always guys with kindness, whatever you have to say, whatever you have to do, just be kind, right? So I went over there. I told him, I went to his office. I said, yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to work. I said, I really took this job because ABC. So he found me another branch to go to. So I went to work at this other branch. I stayed there for 4 years. They couldn't stand me at the other branch because remember, what was my requirement? No weekends. No weekends. And see, I was in high demand because I was an excellent bank teller. I was a teller. I was an excellent teller and I could sell my butt off. Okay? I could sell ice to a Eskimo. Right? Because I knew my products, if I felt strongly about it, and I got to a point of certain products that I didn't want to sell because it just went against my values, okay? And I had to tell one of my managers that. He was looking at me like, what? At that point, I got a few minutes. At that point, I had found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey is a financial guru, for those of you who don't know. And I'm going to get back to y'all comments. Give me 1 second, because I'm on a thought. So, my manager wanted me to sell credit cards to these young kids. And I was like, I cannot sell these kids credit cards. I'm sorry. And he was like, Kimmi. He said, no, Kimberly. He said, Kimberly, I got to remember who I am. He said, no, Kimberly, that's not your business what they do with the credit card. We just need to meet this number. And again, don't forget, now I'm your number one salesperson. I won a trip. I won all kind of prizes. Number one in everything when it came to sales. So he's telling me your number's going to suffer. I'm like, no, they're not. I don't sell people stuff they don't need. And if I did find out that a young person needed a credit card, I had to sell it to them in such a way where I could sleep at night. So what did that look like? I'm like, Johnny, come in, want a credit card. I'm like, Johnny, okay, I'm going to tell you about credit right quick. I'm going to get him a crash course in credit before you even apply for it. Okay? Only use a certain amount. Don't go over this threshold. Pay it off. It was a whole situation before I would even give them the credit card. Okay? Application. And it wasn't my child. I had nothing to do with it. I know on campuses they give people credit cards for a box of pizza or a t-shirt or whatever, right? By this point, I had found Dave Ramsey. So like I said, it's going against what I'm believing financially at this point. I'm like, I don't do that. So I'm not going to tell you to do that. Or I have did that and I don't want to see that for you. Anything you can name with money, your girl did it. Okay. Back in the day. So once I learned, I wanted to educate other people.